Yep, they're starting it again. They're out there saying, "We're next, guys, and this is our fight." And now we have fake activists posing as Black Panther Party members to rile up Foundation Black Americans, and we're not letting that happen.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Welcome, my brothers and my sisters. We got something important to discuss, okay? Because we already know what's going on with ICE. We already know what's going on in Minnesota and with Renee Good and all of that. So we know. And the problem that they're having is that they can't get FBA to be involved because we know we're not involved, okay? We know that. So now they have fake, artificial Black Panther Party members out there advocating and acting as if that they're, standing up on behalf of not only Black Americans, but what's more disingenuous about it, what's more egregious about it, is that they're out there standing up as if they're actual Black Panther Party members, as if they're actually representatives of the Black Panther Party. I'm going to show you this clip, and then we're going to do a rewind. I think it's very important that we do that to establish how we got here. How did we get here? We're going to establish that. All right, let me do this rewind real quick, or let me just show you exactly what we're dealing with before I do the rewind to let you know exactly why this has come up. Because I don't want to just talk about it. I want to establish, why is this happening? What's going on? Why is this happening? Okay, so I'm going to pull this clip up. I can't play the whole thing. Shout out to everybody for being here on our beloved Dr. King Day. And we're going to give a special shout out to Dr. King, a tribute to Dr. King towards the end of the live. But I'm going to kind of skip. I'm going to pause and skip a little bit because there's music and I don't want a copyright strike. So we're just going to kind of, do what we can do.
You want to give to like my generation, the younger generation, or just any generation?
Legally arm yourselves and unify, or else you will die. And I mean that in a literal sense. You see on the news all the time, Renee.
Well, actually, this isn't the one with music, thank God.
Everybody say her name, Renee.
Renee.
Right? She just got shot in the face by ICE, right? This is a real thing, and they're not going to stop. And the more they hurt people and get away with it, the more they're going to get that momentum to keep going. So everybody needs to unify, come together, and everybody needs to arm themselves, right? Because a revolution is in the barrel of a gun, whether you believe it or not. You want to be comfortable and you want to be nice. You don't want no confrontation. Look, Huey P. Newton said it the best. Anybody without a gun is either a slave or they're about to be one. So and people worried about people being scared of him. Huey P. Newton also said this when somebody asked him, "Don't you think the Black Panther Party is scary? Don't you think it's scaring people?" He said, "My people have been the ones afraid. Hey, sister, we got free groceries over here, free hot soup and free clothes." He said, "My people be the one afraid for hundreds of years. So if you're saying people scared of us, now that's a compliment. That means we're doing something right." You know what I'm saying? Would you rather be scared of ICE? Would you rather be scared of the slave catcher, the police? Would you rather be scared of the government forces that are working against the people? Or would you rather be them scared to mess with you? That's for you to choose. That's for you to decide. Unify, arm yourself, and keep this mentality all the time. All power to the people.
All power to the people. Where can people find you? Like on social media?
I'm Chairman Paul Birdsong on Instagram. You can find the Black Panther Party for self-defense on TikTok and Instagram. Black Panther Party split up by chapter. So whatever state you are in, if there's a chapter there, type in BPP and the name of your state, and it should pop up.
Oh,
thank you so much.
That's where we are. That's where we are. How did we get here? We got here because ICE was out here deporting people like crazy ever since Trump got in office. All right. And what they needed is foundational Black Americans to be like, you know what? No, this is wrong. I will not stand for this. And they tried to gaslight us by saying, you're next. Remember, we got to do a rewind, y'all. We got to do a rewind. So the whole you're next, they're coming for us next, they're coming for us next. Let me just show you, this is the type of time they were on. The whole we're next, we're about to get next. Okay, hold on, because we got the receipts. They were out there trying to fearmonger and tell Black people that we're next. Okay, look, I mean, look at this. Look at this.
Americans were detained. Black Americans were detained. That means they're not going after just people who are illegals, as you want to call them. They're going after whoever they can. Okay? ICE detained American citizens, a military veteran, and one of my colleagues and her son, who is 8 years old. Now, my colleague and her son are Black American citizens. They have Jamaican ancestry. They were detained for over 24 hours. That's
Okay. Just notice that they're Black American citizens. They have Jamaican ancestry. Okay. All right. Okay.
how long it took us and lawyers to get them out of ICE detainment. And the son now has extensive trauma. They're going after whoever they can. And the 14th Amendment was an amendment that gave Black people birthright citizenship that were descendants of slaves. So if that is repealed and they go after one group, who do you think they're going after next? I'm not sitting anything out.
Now, you being detained and deported are not the same thing. Okay. Key word, detained. That means that there was somewhere you were around or something of the sort, and you had to be detained. Were you deported? If they're citizens, were you deported? And we've been saying we're not going to be deported. And they kept gaslighting. They kept this fear mongering up. They kept this, we're next, guys. What do you think is going to happen when they're done with them? They're going to come after us. That's what they're going to do. They're going to come after us, guys. That's what they're going to do. Remember, that's what they were on. Hold on. You got to do the rewind.
As are seeing the trending news in Chicago right now. It's literally trending everywhere about what's happening in Chicago. These ICE raids are ridiculous. They got helicopters and things like that, like hovering over a building. It feels like we're in a third world country. It looks like we are in a third world country when you look up these videos. They are pulling Black American citizens out of their homes, right? Pulling Black American citizens out of their homes, zip tying them, and detaining them until they prove that they are American citizens. They said, "F them kids." Literally, an ICE agent said, "F them kids," because they are pulling the kids out of their homes, zip tying them. What is going on? It does not feel like we live in the United States of America. This is so unfucking constitutional. I'm upset, because Chicago is looking like a third world country. We was worried about the gangs and things like that, but ICE, this is ICE, and this is why the mayor and the governor of Chicago did not want the National Guard to come here, because it's not about helping the citizens. It's about abuse of power.
Okay. All right. They were saying that we didn't get involved. Despite what they're trying to say now, we didn't get involved and still have not gotten involved in the situation, because this situation is not about foundational Black Americans. There was no FBAs that were deported from Chicago. Trust me, I would know. There were none. There were none that has been deported from the United States, point blank, period. Then what happened with Renee Good? We already know about the situation that with the ICE officer. And now there's a bunch of protests, massive protests in Minneapolis, right? So let me show you a current YouTube clip, because tensions are crazy. I mean, I'm talking about they're wild in that state. So let me just show you guys what we got going on. Oh, and pull up the video, of course.
Tensions rising in Minnesota as the Pentagon says 1,500 active duty soldiers are on alert for possible deployment to Minneapolis. Defense officials telling ABC News that President Trump has not made a final decision on whether to deploy them, but they are taking, quote, prudent steps to prepare. The White House not yet commenting. This comes after President Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act in order to deploy federal troops. But in recent days, the president seeming to walk that back.
If I needed it, I'd use it. I don't think there's any reason right now to use it. But if I needed it, I'd use it. It's very powerful. Get out of
Minnesota! After more than 10 days of protests throughout the city over the deadly shooting of 37-year-old mother of three Renee Good by Officer Jonathan Ross, anger is growing between state and local officials and the federal government. As the Justice Department insists that Ross's shooting of Good was justified and no further review of his actions is warranted.
We are not investigating, and if there comes a time when we need to, we will, but it's not now.
Sources telling ABC News the federal investigation is focused less on the shooter, Ross, and more on Good, her conduct, and possible ties to activist groups. Also facing scrutiny, the city and state's top Democratic leaders, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, under investigation, sources say, for allegedly obstructing law enforcement activities in the state. Frey telling ABC News that he and Walz have done nothing wrong, but suspects they are being targeted for speaking out against the administration.
There are other countries where you get put away for the things that you say. There are other countries where you get investigated for saying something that runs counter to what the federal government states. But in this country, it's not that way.
And new this morning, as the government cracks down in Minneapolis, attorneys for some of those detained tell us they're being denied their constitutional right to legal counsel. 4 separate attorneys telling ABC News ICE denied their request to meet their clients inside the federal building after they were arrested. One lawyer saying ICE told them, if we let you see your clients, we would have to let all the attorneys see their clients, and imagine the chaos. Attorney Robert Sicoli says he was denied access to his client as well.
It is a violation of the constitutional rights. You have a right to an attorney, and just because they have a system set up that doesn't accommodate that, there's nothing in the Constitution that talks about accommodating the government.
Now, DHS denied those.
All right. Okay. So that's what we have right now. So massive protests. And here's the thing. The protest, and this is what we've experienced all last 2025, all last year, 2025. And this is a big, very, very, very important learning lesson I think everybody needs to listen to. All right. Without foundational Black Americans, your moral, key word, very important word, moral legitimacy is mute. It's none. Okay. The reason why, and I'm going to tell you right now, if Renee Good was a Black woman, the whole situation would be very different. The news wouldn't cover it as much. And and remember when it first happened, I said, notice how the right isn't making fun of her. Notice that. I remember when I said that, when it first popped up, I said, notice how when it's a Black woman, the alt-right and all that, they're making memes and jokes and mocking her and spreading all this information and pulling up all her background and making lies and slandering her. Notice how nobody is doing that with this woman. That's white privilege. I told you that. I told you that. She didn't get the Breonna Taylor treatment. I told you that. Remember? She didn't get the Sonia Massey treatment. She didn't get the Sandra Bland treatment. She didn't get the Tatiana Jefferson treatment. Remember? All of those women, they tried to make it seem like they were out of their mind. They were crazy. They were dangerous. They were about to go out there and have some massacre or something like that. They tried to make it seem like that. Or they were drug lords or something. This woman, notice the right and the left aren't really trying to slander this woman like that. Now, the right is saying that the officer was correct, of course, but they're not trying to slander her. I want you to understand they're race loyal before they're party loyal. Point blank, period. Let's not be confused. Their loyalty is to their race first and foremost, and then their party. Okay. And the only reason why they align with their party is because they feel like their party is in the best interest of their race. Period. So they're not going to slander this woman. But there's massive protests out there. Now, you don't see the same reaction, and this is what the Democrats want. They want the same reaction that George Floyd had. George Floyd had the world turning up. Why? That's because of what we were doing, because of Foundation Black Americans and our moral legitimacy that Renee Good and her community don't have. And unless we show up, people are like, you know what, this doesn't really seem like a righteous cause, because we are the stampers of what is righteous in this country or not. We are the ones who determine that. We are the determiners, okay, of what is righteous in this country or not. So they're going out there, they're fighting for Renee Good, and they don't see us in there. They say, hey, this ain't our fight. This ain't our problem. And their protest, notice, I want y'all to notice, you ain't really seen nothing about their protests. Now, when it was George Floyd, that's all anybody was talking about. We had a whole pandemic, a deadly pandemic that people had never seen before. And people were talking more about George Floyd than they were talking about a pandemic, a global pandemic. All right. This Renee Good situation happened. There was already been massive protests against ICE, against Trump. Yeah. It's, you know. Oh, they're out there. They're mad. They know. So there's this thing. We got to get Black people involved. We got to get Black people involved. We got to get Black people involved. So now they're trying to put this thing out there, right? that, okay, because I guess we can't manipulate you into thinking you're next. But now we're trying to, because they tried to scare us at first, remember. Now they're trying to pull some type of moral, they're trying to hit that moral button. Like, guys, this is the moral, this is immoral. God, this is our fight now. We gotta get up. We gotta get up. Okay. So now we have the whole this is our fight thing going on. This is no time to sit down. I know this isn't about you, but this is just about morality. This is just about what we should be doing. Okay, hold on. Let me show y'all.
This stuff is going on right now.
And I want y'all to understand that all of this, hold on, let me get this off screen. All of this leads up to what's going on with the quote unquote Black Panthers.
And while all this ICE stuff is going on right now, I keep seeing some black people say this ain't our fight. I just want to educate y'all real quick. Y'all keep saying this not our fight, but first of all, the government looks at us all the same. Including black people. Whether you're from America or not, the government still looks at us the same as any other culture. The only person who is not in our category is white people. Mind you, while George Floyd was happening, there were all types of races. Even white people was out, but the Mexicans was out. They was out. So now when y'all see all these attacks, y'all want to say, we not going to protest, we not looting for them. But when it came to us, y'all wanted everybody else to help us loot. Y'all wanted everybody else to help us protest. Now y'all don't want to help them protest. So we can't come on this bitch no more and say Black Lives Matter because we not even trying to support other races. ICE is still police brutality. It's literally the same thing. ICE officers are federal government officers. They still police officers at the end of the day. So I'm really just not understanding. Like, y'all just be ignorant as fuck. And also, Africans are getting deported too. Every black person is inherited from Africa. Y'all like to argue and say all the time that we not, but it's literally called African American for a reason. We all ancestors. Like, why can't we just come together as a community?
Do you see that? See, this is why it was very important for us to stop that African American stuff. Very important. Number one. Number two, they don't all see us the same. Clearly, they don't all see us the same. And I can't, honestly, it bothers me. It really does. The whole, they were out there for us. They were out there doing the George Floyd thing. No, not really. The attempt to make it seem as if we owe anybody anything offends me personally. It bothers me because I was outside, and all of the protests that they were doing, the ones that actually got stuff done, they were not there. Do you know, I was out there, I was literally out there, okay? It was a whole bunch of them. They were out there, they looted and then went back to their neighborhood. That's it. It was a bunch of opportunists and people who wanted to riot for fun. They don't care about the cause of black people. I was so disappointed when it was going on, because I'm sure a lot of you all remember when it was going on, a whole bunch of people like, oh my God, thank you for helping. I'm like, please stop. We don't need their help. We don't. We didn't. They didn't help. They didn't. They did not. They did not. Stop. What? Come on. Now, I'm not saying that there were not a couple of good meaning non-black people who were at the protest. I'm talking about you're trying to bestow an entire allyship credential on a community that is not our ally. I don't care how you dice it. They're not our ally. They're not our ally. And we, as foundational Black Americans, have absolutely, when I say absolutely, I mean absolutely no reason to fight for somebody who does not fight for us. Not only that, we owe nobody nothing. We only owe ourselves stuff. We don't owe anybody else anything. But this is not our fight. And they all see us the same. I'm not getting deported. Y'all not getting deported. We're not getting deported. How they all see us the same and they only deporting the immigrants, the illegals? What do you mean they all see us the same? But boy, the whole this is our fight. I'll show you this guy. Come on, pull up.
Say this in the most respectful way I know possible. Let me say this, and I'm gonna say this in the most respectful way I know possible. Black people, if you're saying that this is not our fight and you don't want to fight, and you're saying, well, you go out there and you do this and you do that, then get the fuck out my comments. Why is it that y'all have so much energy to type paragraphs to me? Go through my comments, y'all. It's paragraph on paragraph on paragraph fighting me. This is what I'm talking about. I said that I and my people are going out there because y'all keep talking about something where black people don't need to be on the front lines. Our neighborhoods, our apartment buildings are the fucking front lines. What don't y'all get? They raiding buildings in Chicago. They've been going in and out of apartment buildings in Southeast, DC, PG County, Hyattsville, Oxon Hill. What do y'all not get? There is no front or back lines. We live in these communities. Our families live in the communities. I'm so fucking tired of y'all giving me this whole fucking energy.
Now, okay, I tried to blur it out as much as possible, but he keep on cursing. He keep on cursing. They're in our community. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. He is correct. This is why they need to go. They were put in our community. They didn't come to the South Side just because they were like, hey, the South Side's pretty groovy. No, they were placed in the South Side of Chicago. They were placed there. They were allowed to be there and they were protected. They were told, that's where you go. That's where you need to hold up. That's where they were put. Okay? They were put in the black community. So as a matter of fact, we should be, this is beneficial that they're leaving. You're like, this is the front lines. Move out the way. It's like the exterminator. You'd be like, that's kind of cruel. Maybe, but I think that this is a pretty accurate analogy. If the exterminator is coming again, you'd be like, the exterminator's coming to my house. Yes. That's because you're the house with the rats. You're the house with all of the rats. You're the house with all of the roaches. You're the house with all of the bugs and things. If all of the rats and bugs and all of the things that the exterminator exterminates is at your house, then the exterminator is going to come to your house. If somebody, and I know this might creep some of y'all out, but if somebody took a whole bunch of rats and just threw them in an apartment building, and the exterminator then has to come in and move everybody out to exterminate and get them all out, why would you protest that? Huh? Why would you protest that? Why would you be like, no, not my house, no? Okay. Why? Do you want the rats and mice and bugs and roaches and stuff like that all crawling up in your walls and stuff? Do you want that? Do you want that? Instead of moving out the way and letting them do the job that they were supposed to be doing. Instead of doing that. Let's be very honest. Let's be very honest. And here's the thing. This is what we were saying ever since Trump was in office. I'm gonna circle this out after I finish these clips. They can leave. Nobody is keeping them here. Absolutely nobody is keeping them here. So you're getting mad that they're coming to the black community. You're getting mad that they're coming to our communities. You're getting mad at ICE instead of getting mad at the people who shouldn't be there and refuse to leave. Just think about that. Think about that as we finish watching this. They know they're not supposed to be here. ICE is not knocking on the door, and they're like, hey, you got to go. What? I got to go? What? That's crazy. What do you mean I got to go? They all know. They know they're not. That's why they're hiding. That's why they're hiding, because they know they're not supposed to be here. But yet you have people who are trying to manipulate you into thinking that the people who are trying to get them out you should have more anger towards them than the people who are squatting and siphoning our resources, who know that what they're doing and who hate you the whole time, who disrespect you the whole time. It's not like they're allies. It's not like they like you. It's not like they're not racist as hell. They're more your open enemy than a lot of white people in some cases. They will openly say it a lot faster. I'm not saying that white people aren't racist. I'm not saying that, okay? Because somebody be like, you're America. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying a lot of them, they'll openly say it to you. And yeah, you're taking life or death at this point, chances to protect them. Let's continue.
Of like paragraphs. Get the fuck off my page. Why would you type paragraphs to me? You typing paragraphs to me. Where's your energy for them? You could be on Fox News typing paragraphs. You can be on MAGA people typing paragraphs. But for a motherfucker that will go out there and fight for his motherfucking people, you got paragraphs for me? I'm who you got paragraphs for. If you don't want to go out there, why the fuck are you in my comments? If you're not in my comments like, okay, when the next rally, when the next this, DM me to go here, then why are you here? Why? I'm genuinely, I'm so confused. I've never seen a Palestinian fight for somebody in Palestine and I type a paragraph that say, well, this ain't our fight. If it's not my fight, it ain't my fight. Why are you fighting me? If it's not your fight, why are you fighting me?
Let me tell you, because you are trying to manipulate people. People are putting out accurate narratives because what you're doing is manipulation. Okay, you're trying to pull on people's heartstrings. You're trying to manipulate people into joining and fighting for a cause that, number one, won't help them. Number two, isn't even legitimate for them to fight themselves. That's why. This is why. Why are you fighting me? Why are you trying to say, why aren't you just doing it? Okay, you're trying to galvanize people to do something they shouldn't be doing. That's why. All right. But the whole, this is our fight. This is our fight. I'm telling you, this is what they've been doing. Let me show you. I can go all day long, but I'm just show you a few before we move on. Here we go.
We are past the, it's not my, they don't.
Now, I didn't know exactly where that guy was from. This guy, I'm not sure exactly where his family lineage is from. He says his father is a Black American who's descendant of American chattel slavery. He don't like FBA. He never stated where his mother is from, though. Just so you know, because I combed through his TikTok. He went in depth about his father and his father's background, but he ain't really say where his mama from. All right, just so you know. Okay, so I can't say yes or no. I'm just saying that's kind of suspicious. I mean, he went in depth about his daddy and ain't say nothing about his mama, so okay. But now this woman, I know for a fact, is Nigerian, just full-fledged Nigerian.
They don't. I think we are past the, it's not my fight. This has nothing to do with me. I'm not getting involved commentary as it pertains to everything that is happening with this administration. They are snatching up Native Americans, the people who are indigenous to this land. They are stopping everyone, whether you voted for this or not.
Okay, before we start, they're snatching up Native Americans. Where would they be taking these Native Americans? Where are these Native Americans going? Kind of makes you think about where these are. These the true Native Americans, or are these immigrants posing as Native Americans, which is what they've been doing for hundreds of years? But okay, let's continue. Let's just continue.
It is now your fight. When they are stopping you, they don't care that you have been here for X, Y, and Z generations. Your family has been here for X, Y, and Z generations. You can trace your family lineage. They do not care. They are not making any differentiation between whether you are an immigrant, your parents are immigrants. They don't care. They're not asking if you voted for this, if you didn't vote for this. They don't care. Children, literal minors, are getting snatched up. I truly empathize with and understand the exhaustion behind everything that is going on right now. But to get on this internet and say, oh, I'm not an immigrant, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the third, I don't look a certain way. It doesn't matter. If you don't have the complexion for the protection,
you are not safe. And even we see with Renee Good, even if and when you have the complexion for the protection, you are still not safe.
Okay. The complexion for the protection, we get that. Trust me, as foundation Black Americans, we've totally understand that. We've been telling everybody else that for the longest time. We're the ones who've been telling everybody else about the complexion for the protection thing. Now, when you mention Renee Good, you're skipping out a lot of context there. Don't you think you're missing a lot of key details in the situation with Renee Good? Oh, Renee Good, even she didn't have the complexion for the protection. Yeah, I mean, when you take the whole scenario out of context, then yeah, it might seem very, very horrible. They make it seem like she was just eating popcorn on her couch watching Netflix, and then ICE just barged in, start mowing everybody down. No, that's not what happened. Okay, she was told to get out the car. She tried to flee, hitting somebody with somebody right in front of the vehicle as she's driving forward, and she got shot. As unfortunate as that is, because I'm not here to mock nobody's demise. I'm not here to glorify or celebrate anybody's death. But I am trying to say is you got to put the situation in context, and the fact that you keep omitting the context is very important. That means you're trying to spread a narrative that you know you couldn't successfully spread if you told the truth. That's why they got to be like, the whole her running him over. Let's just not say that part. We can't, because that kind of takes her out of victim mode. And we're trying to, we're putting them in victim mode. But when they say that she's in a car and the ICE agent is in front, she knows that and still kept going. It's hard to sell the victim narrative in that case. So just scratch that. Say she was just walking her dog and then ICE just came and bam, just say it like that. That sounds more traumatic. Okay. Even though that's not what happened.
So respectfully, I understand if you want to sit this out, and I understand you saying this is not your fight, but that is not going to keep you safe. And I don't say this to fearmonger. I just say this to say that at this point, getting on the internet with that rhetoric, it is divisive, it is unhelpful, and it is brain dead. What we need now is empathy. We need people to show love and community. We need a lot less of this brain dead arrogance. I told you so. Okay, you told us so. Now what? Respectfully, okay. I think we are past.
No. Listen, I don't want nobody to be harmed. I said this last year. I said this during the last election. I don't want nobody to be harmed. I don't. But let me tell you, I've witnessed firsthand the negative effects that this mass illegal immigration has done to the Black community. I've seen it. I'm not talking about some stat I pulled off of Fox News websites or something like that. I'm talking about what I have physically seen. Okay, the places that I've went to, I've seen it. When we get up here and talk at city council, we've seen it. It's not because we just want to blow up or we want a shout out from Fox News or something like that. We're talking about stuff we've seen. A lot of you all, when y'all talk about what's going on in y'all cities and neighborhoods, y'all talking about stuff you've seen. Politicians have had to adjust their whole city budgets to accommodate them. Stuff we've seen, stuff our cities are currently being affected by. Chicago is still currently in 2026 still being affected by this stuff. So no, we've seen this. So this is why we were saying for the longest time, hey, they need to go. They need to go. I don't want it to happen violently. They get to leave. Nobody's keeping them here. So nobody is keeping them in America. They get to be all like, you know what? We had our time. It didn't work out. It's best that we leave, self-deport, and then maybe try to come back in. Because they don't have a right. But they said no. They said, we're going to stick it out. They're hiding in the community. They're hiding. And the governor, the mayor, the Democrat governor and mayor, the whole Democrat Party is allowing them to do it and protecting them from doing that. This is why ICE got to be like, hey, y'all not letting them come out. Now we got to go in. Since they can't come out, we got to go in. And this is why we're here right now. We've been saying this for the longest. This is why we're not surprised of the news anymore. When we turn on the news, be like, damn, I saw that coming. That's what I see. I said, damn, I saw that coming. What do you think was going to happen? What do you think was going to happen? We've been saying we saw this coming. What do you think was going to happen? All right. Honestly. And then when you make the case, we should fight. This is our fight. Okay, fine, cool. Let's say this. Let's compare this situation to the situation with George Floyd. What was our demands with the situation with George Floyd? Okay, let's analyze what happened very briefly so we can move on to the next point, but it's very important. What happened with George Floyd is George Floyd was murdered by police. Okay, unjustly. He was in handcuffs. He was complying. He wasn't a threat to anybody. They killed him anyway. Broad daylight on camera anyway. All right. And George Floyd is one of many cases of Black people who are not a danger to anybody and who should not have been killed, be killed. And a police officer gets a slap on the wrist, if that. So what we were talking about during the whole George Floyd uprisings was that these police need to be held accountable for their actions and they need to be punished when they do things like that to Black people. This is what we were saying. Very simple, very patriotic, because this is our right. We are citizens. We do have a right not to be murdered and executed by police. Okay, clear demands. This is why everybody was able to galvanize so easily behind it, because everybody understood, damn, what they're saying over there, that's legitimate. They're making legitimate arguments. And even the whole counter protest of, well, all lives matter. What about all lives matter? That was mute. All of that stuff was mute because they didn't have a legitimate counter argument. Our argument was so rock solid. There was no counter argument. Okay, that's our argument for George Floyd. Even though Black Lives Matter, and I use that kind of just, not the organization, but the whole kind of anti-police brutality movement, if we can name it that, right? That existed before George Floyd. We all know that. And the same messaging has been around, okay? Not the organization, but just kind of the movement. Now let's look at ICE. Let's look at what they're saying. ICE, get out of our city. Go away, ICE. No more ICE. Abolish ICE. Okay? What's the message? This is why people are not joining. I think people who need to listen. This is why people are not joining. What is the message? That nobody in America should be deported? Is that the message? Is the message that they want America to become the first country in the world where nobody gets deported? Where America is banned from deporting anybody? Is that the message? Is the message, if you come to America and if you really, really, really like it, you get to stay? Is that the message now? Is the message that if you come here and as long as you have a child, you're good? Is that the message now? Is the message that the bar needs to be held at you being a serial killer? Is that the message? What is the message of what they're doing? This is why it's not going nowhere. Okay? This is why it's not going nowhere, because there's no legitimacy. First off, there's no legal legitimacy, and then there's no moral legitimacy. You don't have us there. And the reason you don't have FBA there is because we looking at this like, first off, this whole thing is wrong. As a matter of fact, y'all movement is wrong. Their movement hurts our community. I want you to understand that. Their movement hurts our community. I'm telling you what I've seen. What I've seen. We should not be involved in this. What do they want? Now, if they was to say a case of abuse should be investigated and the ICE officer should be held accountable. Okay, but what they're saying is no ICE, no more ICE. Nobody is illegal on stolen land. Nobody's illegal. What? If nobody, with that logic, if nobody is illegal, then who is a citizen? I want you just think about that. Think about that. If nobody is illegal, and we shouldn't say that, then who is a citizen? What is the difference? Everybody, with that logic, everybody in the world is an American citizen. We wouldn't even need anchor babies at this point. Just come in. Everybody in the world is owed a piece of the American pie that we built, except us. Because these are the same people, just keep this in mind, because we're going to play this clip later. These are the same people who will deny us getting our right to the pie. These are the same people who will protest about us getting reparations. Okay, but they deserve a piece of the pie. I don't think so. And this is why their movement isn't going anywhere. And they wound up doing dumb, dangerous, reckless stuff. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen, there was a case where I guess ICE was looking for some lady. She was doing DoorDash. Yeah, ICE was looking for some lady. She was doing DoorDash. She ran up in somebody's house because I guess ICE pulled up. I guess the person opened the door. She ran up in their house. ICE is standing outside like, hey, you got to let that person come out. We're here to arrest that person, this lady. And the woman, who's a white woman claiming to be a Native American, says no. Says, no, I'm not. You can't come in. You don't have a warrant to come in. You can't come in. So she's out there on the phone with the police telling them, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. There's this strange woman in my house. I have no idea who she is. And ICE is outside. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Let me show you that. This is what they want us to be in. This is the type of situations they want us to be involved in.
They're going to break the door down.
That's fine, but I don't want to open the door if they don't have a warrant. Because this was my DoorDash lady. I don't even know the lady. She just ran to my house.
All right.
I have a baby here. Like, I really don't know what to do. I'll open the door if the police, say that I have to open the door, but, I don't know what to do. This lady...
I want you to think of how irresponsible it is for you as a parent to allow a stranger who is not just no stranger who looks like they're down on their luck and might need a warm blanket and a hot meal. I'm talking about a stranger who is currently being pursued by law enforcement to barge up in your house, and you have a child to protect. And you're letting this complete stranger that you don't know from it's not like it's your family member on the run. Look, I could get it. I could get it if your cousin is on the run or something man, I hate the fact that you in this situation, but we family. I guess even still, that's a big risk. I wouldn't even want my cousin to put my child's safety, because you're putting me and my child in danger. I wouldn't, if I was on the run, I wouldn't do that to my cousin's family. I wouldn't put my cousin's family at risk. But if it's your family, if it's a friend, if it's somebody you knew at all, that would be different. It still wouldn't be okay, but that would be different. This is a woman that she is admitting she has no idea. She literally just called DoorDash. All she knows is that she delivers food for DoorDash. That's the same thing of protecting somebody when you walk into a McDonald's. You don't know nobody at this McDonald's. You don't know nobody in the front and the back. But imagine them running from the cops and you let them in the house with your baby. Imagine you doing that.
He just was shot yesterday. Now I ordered fucking food and there's people outside my fucking house.
Cheyenne, I'm on my way, okay? All right.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm so scared. James, come downstairs.
And here's the man. Shame on that dude. He should be logical enough to say, hey, baby, I get we not for ICE and all of that stuff, but we have a child to protect here. How do you know that this woman isn't going to be desperate enough to hold y'all hostage? And y'all got a whole hostage situation. How do you know that?
What?
Now, this video, there's a 2-minute video, and then there's a 13-minute video. I'm not going to play the whole 13 minutes, so I'm just going to play you a little bit. She's running around. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Now, let me show you. There's ICE sitting up there outside, not going nowhere, saying that, hey, we can get a warrant to come in here because we did see you barge in. Now, I'm going to say something else. This is also white privilege, because if this woman was black, if that was a black household, they would just come in and then say, sue me later, deal with it later. They would just come in. They wouldn't we saw somebody we're looking for run in this building and we're going to sit outside and wait for a warrant. No, they would just come in, and then you would be charged with aiding and abetting, because that's what they would charge you with. They would say, ma'am, you were informed that this person is a fugitive, and you prevented law enforcement from doing our job in apprehending this woman. So that, therefore, you aided and abetted. Okay? So there you go. Here's some handcuffs for you too, and that man in the back. Here's some handcuffs for you. Well, since y'all going to jail, for impeding in federal law enforcement, I guess that means that this child has to go with another family if DCFS. That's what would happen if they were black, and we all know that. That's what would happen if they were black. That's what would happen, and we know it. But she's sitting up there for several minutes. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm going to fast forward this some more.
What is your name? What is your name?
So they're all outside.
I can't.
Okay, they're outside. That's the woman in the purple coat.
I don't know
Now
what to
notice
do.
they're on the porch. They're in the house. They're not stepping outside. So ICE is not doing it. They're trying to cooperate. They're not doing anything like they would be doing if they were black.
No,
they won't hear you. They won't hear you.
How could you do this to your own fucking people? That's insane. I don't fucking care. Y'all didn't have no fucking warrant.
Just give her some time.
Just give her some fucking time. Y'all just shot someone in Minnesota. I ordered DoorDash. My fucking DoorDash. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm Native American. Get the fuck off my yard until she comes that way.
She's Native American. That woman is white as snow. She is whiter than the snow outside. The snow outside has more melanin than she does. Just so you know.
You don't even have a fucking warrant. But I'm not going to go to fucking jail because y'all pieces of shit ain't got nothing better to do because you're white.
All right. Then she said some crazy stuff. So I'm going to, she gets very vulgar. So I'm a fast forward that. But eventually she lets him go.
11,000 followers I have on fucking TikTok. You guys are
Now she's all like, yeah, I got these followers on TikTok. I got these followers on TikTok. This is the involvement that they want black people to get in. This is what they want black people to do. To sacrifice our life for them, for their behalf. And we're saying no. We're not sacrificing our safety, our life, the lives of our family for them. We're not doing that. And no matter how much you try to convince us to do it, we're not doing that. And because we've been saying that so much, and it's gotten so, everybody is understanding that, and everybody's really on board with it for whatever reason. Now you have a whole bunch of quote unquote Black Panther Party members outside, and they're talking about protecting ICE and protecting a whole bunch of illegal immigrants. This is what they're talking about. Hold on. You got these folk outside. Let me show you. Show you this video or this clip. So these are the new Black Panther Party members that are outside fighting ICE. Let's analyze this picture real quick. Let's look at this. if y'all think this is real, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think is wrong with this picture. What do y'all think is wrong with this picture? Can anybody guess what they think is wrong with the picture? I ain't gonna be too long. Do y'all notice not only the police are standing behind them, and it's almost as if they're marching in formation. Notice how they got their guns drawn, the police don't have nothing. But I couldn't help but notice this one back here is smiling. This police officer right back here is smiling for the camera. These people are out there for the camera. This is why the police aren't really bothering them. The police know who they are. The police know about these people. The police aren't even bother. You have not seen the police bother these people at all since they stepped up. And it's not because the police are afraid. They're afraid. These police are not afraid of them. These people popped up to try to galvanize black people to say, you know, this is not right. And the Black Panther Party, we will not stand with any type of abuse of illegal immigrants. This is what they're saying. And the people who are doing this, they're immigrants themselves. These are tethers cosplaying and posing as Black Panther Party members. That's what they're doing. They're posing. That's what they are doing. Hold on, let me show you this. It's a little bit of music, so I got to skip it. I can't play the whole thing straight up. Let me show you. Hold on.
Like my generation, the younger generation, or just any generation.
That's for you to choose. That's for you to decide. Unify, arm yourself.
Oh, wait. My fault. All of these clips are the same. My fault, girl. Okay, I pressed the wrong button and left the room, so that was my bad. That was my bad. But you saw that, and a lot of people were asking, okay, why are y'all out there fighting on behalf of immigrants? These are agents, so y'all know. The same way they had with the old Black Panther Party. They've always put agents there so they can have the agents spin their own agenda. When agents want their agenda placed, they make it seem as if they're grassroots. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to market that anybody who isn't out there fighting ICE and fighting on behalf of illegal immigrants, we're alt-right. And these are the real grassroots, real tough people. Listen to this.
Okay. All power to the people. Chairman Paul Burton. All power to the people. Chairman Paul Burton reporting for active community defense duty. Listen, two things that I need to run by you. Thing number one is, a lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing for people that aren't us. And Black Panthers only stand for black people. That is a lie. Huey P. Newton said that we are internationalists and we stand with all oppressed people no matter what color they are. That's the founder of the Black Panther Party that said that. So everybody who's running around talking about Black Panthers don't stand up for people other than black people don't know a damn thing about the Black Panther Party. That's thing number one. Thing number two, the Black Panther Party created something called the Rainbow Coalition, which is a coalition of Hispanics, Asians, whites, and blacks from all over the world working together to fight oppression. Again, the Black Panther stood with the Mexicans, stood with the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans, stood with the Japanese, the Vietnamese. The Black Panthers did a whole campaign to end the Vietnam War because they stood with Vietnam. So for you guys who are talking all of this gibberish about, oh, you guys aren't following traditions of the original, who do you think our leaders are? Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther, right? Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther who walked with Huey Newton. That's our leadership. And Billy Che Brooks, that was Fred Hampton's right-hand man. So you guys you sound stupid, to be honest. You sound like you don't really know what you're talking about. Doing a lot of hooting and hollering and don't really know what you're talking about. If you watch Huey Newton's speech, he specifically says, we are not black nationalists. We are internationalists. And we stand with all oppressed people across the globe, no matter what your ethnicity is. Come on, man.
First off, do y'all not think that it's a little convenient when the Black Panther Party showed up? If he out here, Paul Burton, if he was out here the whole time, and fighting for everybody and every cause, then maybe. But it just is so interesting that he's popped up and now he's going viral on social media all of a sudden for their cause specifically. Because I don't recall him being there for Sonia Massey. I don't recall his face during the whole George Floyd thing. I don't recall that. During the whole George Floyd uprisings. I don't recall that. There's so many other times where Black people needed the Black Panther Party. I don't recall him going state to state to state to state to help. No, I don't recall that. But when a white woman gets shot up, oh, now he's out there talking about the Black Panther Party was a bunch of internationalists. No. Well, the Black Panther Party was trying to establish people to know their constitutional rights here. Now, there was inclusion in the Black Panther Party, but to be very honest with you, and as much as we can love them and revere them, that was a mistake that they made. That was a mistake. By them just letting anybody in here, anybody in the party, that was a mistake because they allowed agents to get in the party. Then on top of that, the word oppressed. Notice that they're using these words that strike at a certain feeling that you have, because when you hear this word, it strikes at a certain feeling that you have. It's a cringy word, okay? It makes you uncomfortable. All right, oppressed. How? Because when you say Black people are oppressed by the police, if somebody says how, I can bring you example after example after example after example after statistic after data, I can bring up several cases, some recorded, some not recorded. And that's just the police, not even the whole judicial system. I'm not talking about the courts and jail and all of that stuff. I can bring those things up. You talking about ICE is oppressing them. Okay. How? Well, they don't want to leave. Hate to break it to you, sir. I hate to break it to you, sir. That's not You don't have a right to stay in the country because you like it. That's I'm trying to give you something. I can't give you that. They're making it seem as if they have a right to be here because they don't want to leave. You don't have a right to be there because you don't want to leave. Okay? Imagine, I'm gonna give you an example. There was one time I was at a hotel. I was on a business trip. I was at a hotel. Checkout is at 11 o'clock at this hotel. I have the damn housekeeping knocking on my door at 10 o'clock. I'm still asleep. Now, what I do when I travel, the night before I check out, all of my stuff is packed. All of my stuff is in the bag, ready to go. All I got to do is wake up, wash up real quick. I got the clothes I'm gonna wear later, all of that stuff, because I don't like to get up super early and then have to organize and clean. I don't like doing that. I don't like cleaning up super early. I'm gonna clean up the night before. I tend to keep the hotel room clean anyway, but I'm gonna clean up the night before. Get up, wash up, I'm out. All right. So It's 10 o'clock. I have a whole hour before I have to check out. I literally have a whole hour before I have to check out. They're knocking and knocking and knocking and knocking, and I'm coming to the door like, can I get a minute? Can I get a little minute? I don't have to leave till 11. And okay, 11 or 10:20, they're knocking again. Okay, I'm gonna be right out. I'm gonna be out. Bam. 10:35. I'm looking at my watch, mind you, at the time. 10:35, they're knocking again. I said, you know what? Okay, I'm gone. I'm gone. Because it's not like I'm even able to get no sleep. Y'all harassing me to get out this hotel room. I'm about to leave. Okay. So I left. Now, I brought this story up to say this. I have a right. Because I paid. I had a right to stay at that hotel until 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, I have to leave. Okay? Imagine if at 11 o'clock I said, you know what? I'm not going. I'm not going to leave. Imagine at 11 o'clock, I said, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay at this hotel. And then just close the door and lock it. And say, you know what? I like it. I like this hotel. Guess what they would do? They're going to send security there to escort me out the hotel. Then I'm going to be banned. That's what is going to happen. And once they send the security or police to come and pull me up out that hotel room and ban me, I'm not going to be able to knock on people's doors and have everybody else who in the hotel fight for my right to stay at a hotel that I haven't paid for. No, nobody is going to do that. They're going to say, sir, you knew you were supposed to leave. So by you not leaving, this is what's going to happen. Because that's what happens when you're someplace you're not supposed to be. Do you get it? I tried to simplify it. Do you get it? Imagine if I get kicked out of that hotel and I said, guys, they're oppressing me by kicking me out of their hotel. This is oppression. I need your help to fight off against this oppression. They're kidnapping me out of their hotel. Imagine if I said that. They're kidnapping you out of the they're kidnapping you out of the hotel? Yes. Because I want to be here. So they're kidnapping me out of the hotel and I'm being oppressed. See, that doesn't really sound right. Doesn't make sense. Okay? And that's the situation we have going on here. You're talking about oppression. Notice the words that they're using. Oppression, kidnapping. If you put those words in the same scenario, in a similar scenario, you're going to see those words don't fit. Okay? You're oppressed when you have rights that are being violated. If you do not have a right to stay in the country, your rights are not being violated. I don't care if you like it. If you do not have a right, which means you're not a citizen, if you don't have a right to stay in a country, your removal is not oppression. And it's damn sure not kidnapping. Okay? And nobody should sacrifice themselves on your behalf for that. Okay? Not only that, this man is out here literally telling us to put ourselves in danger. Hold on. For them. Let me pull this clip up. I mean, this man is literally out there wilding and is going to put a target on our back.
You ever run up on me, I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's going to happen. No ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace.
Okay. There was an interview Fred Hampton did where Fred Hampton talked about the messaging of the Black Panther Party. And he said that he doesn't like when people are reckless with their messaging. Okay. If we're talking about self-defense, okay, and we're talking about arming yourselves in case of an attack. He said he didn't want people to go out there and go on camera and antagonize an incident. ICE agent ain't gonna run up on me. I'm gonna put a hole in their chest. What are we doing? Are you crazy? We weren't even saying that during the George Floyd uprisings. Man, if a police stop me, I'm blowing his head off. Are you insane, sir? I want you to understand the key reason why you shouldn't do that is because that is going to be used, and we've seen it, that is going to be used as motive if this does happen and you do something to an ICE officer. They're going to pull this clip up of his ass saying this, and they're going to say, sir, you've expressed animosity towards ICE agents. Even if an ICE agent, then I want you to understand how dumb what he did is. If an ICE agent, and so we can never make this mistake, if an ICE agent who's a federal officer attacks you now and you wind up fighting in self-defense, in pure self-defense, and now you go to court, they're going to pull that clip up and say, sir, you were looking for a problem. Sir, based off of this clip alone, you showed you had animosity towards law enforcement. Okay, you showed you wanted to instigate a physical altercation. You egged it on. That's what they're going to use. I want us to understand law enforcement does have social media. They do have access to your Instagram, your Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, the TikTok, all that stuff. So you thinking because I can guarantee you, he's not no grassroots nothing. So you're thinking you're going to get out there and you're going to be able to, man, I'm going to put a hole in ICE's chest. You're not even saying that you're going to defend yourself, which is as far as what Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, Fred Hampton, that's what they said. They didn't actually say anything graphic or violent because that's not the right messaging to say. They're saying that, hey, if I am attacked, I will use my constitutional right to defend myself. That's as far as you take that. That's as far as the real Black Panther Party took it. They didn't take it to the point where they expressed how they wanted to blow somebody's head off or put a hole in somebody's chest. They didn't take it that far because that now you're stepping into another lane. Okay. Now you're stepping into a lane where people can take that messaging as motive. Okay. That's what you're stepping into. But of course he's doing that. And what's going to happen is he's going to rile up a bunch of people. That's the intent of this. To get out there with their guns and their weapons and things like that, to rile people up, to be like, oh yeah, the Black Panther Party, they're out here and they're fighting and they're doing this and they're tough and they're unapologetic and they're mean and they got attitude and all that. No, it's a trap.
That's what's gonna happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize,
unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you mean Renee Good, that's arguable. She might not have had a firearm, but she did have something that was considered a deadly weapon at the time, which was her vehicle. Okay, I'm telling you, they trying to make it seem like Renee ICE was some angel who was just walking her dog with her kids by her, and ICE just came and mowed her down. That's what they're trying to do. No, you said unarmed. Not really. Not really, but okay.
The people, while we're standing here, fuck around and find out. Our interactions with the police and ICE, and we hold them accountable. We patrol the community and we hold them accountable. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, we're the same Panther Party from back in the day, but we're a little more aggressive now, you dig? Carry bigger guns and we don't take no shit. Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them and needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because them ICE agents ain't gonna act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. That means them shotgun shells that shoot out of a pump, they shoot them rapidly. If you are gonna legally arm yourself with something bigger than what they got. Those who serve in the public, they should be fearful of the public. They should be fearful that the public is going to be dissatisfied with their job that they're doing. Yo,
this man this is COINTELPRO. This is so COINTELPRO, and I'm so glad nobody is buying this. And I'm going to show you guys, nobody is buying this at all. Nobody. If you are going to defend yourself, arm yourself with something bigger than what they got. You're literally trying to start something. You're giving the blueprint. It's not like you're trying to even talk about self-defense. First off, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Where do you get guns and weapons that are bigger than what the federal government has? I'm asking for a friend. He says, arm yourself with something bigger than what they have. Okay. Where do we get weapons that are bigger than what the United States federal government has? I want to know. Sir, do you know what do you think you have that they don't have? Do you know what you're saying? He really think he's something else. What do you think you have that they don't have access to? You think we got bigger guns than the government? Really? You think you got bigger guns than the government? You have a helicopter? Do you have one of those too? In a tank? Do you have drones with missiles? Do you have that? I don't know where you get any of those things. I don't know where you get any of those things with minigun. I don't know where you get that stuff. Okay? I don't know where this man is moving like he's okay. All right. Like he's the Terminator or something like that. This man is moving like he's the Punisher. All right. He says, get bigger guns. Dude, you are not a transformer. You do not have bigger guns. All right. All right. But let him tell it. Okay. So what you really need to do, and this is the same play they did last time. What you really need to do is get guns as big and bold as possible. Put a big red circle on your chest and on your back, and then go out there and get in their face and flip them off. Okay. Yeah, you're trying to do something. And let me tell you, hold on. Let me just say, what they're trying to do is they want a black person to get killed. That's what they want. All right. And as unfortunate as it is, we can make all the jokes we want to. As unfortunate as that is, that's what they want. They want a young black kid to be inspired by these fake Black Panther Party members, okay, and to go out there and get himself killed. And then because when that happens, that can set off the community. Because nothing they've done so far, which is why it took us a minute to get here, nothing they've done so far has mobilized us and set us off. Not even Renee Good. That's not gotten anybody up off the couch. But they're like, damn, if a little Jamal Wilson, if he's out there, if Jamal Wilson Jr., if a 17-year-old who looks like Trayvon Martin, if he gets shot, then it will mobilize you guys. That's what they want. They want a black kid, preferably somebody really, really young and naive, to get killed by an ICE agent. All right. And I'm not even joking. That's what they want. And they're going to do that because it's an election year, and that's going to galvanize people. And there's going to be mass protests. They're trying to replicate what happened in 2020 with George Floyd. And the thing is that they need black people to get out there to do it. That's why.
Feeling like they're tyrants, not feeling like they're bullies because they got guns and body armor and walkie-talkies. That makes them immune to whatever the people would do. I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher. You meet them with equal force. All power to the motherfucking people. No power to the pig.
Yo, man, this dude. And I could play clips, but he got some clips of him saying that the Black Panther, it's just a couple of clips. He keeps on saying that the Black Panther Party is about immigrants. Okay. I'm going to just play because he's out here because a lot of people in the community are checking him. Ain't nobody in the community is buying this. Nobody at all is buying what he's selling. Hold on, pull this up.
Heard something from the Black Panther Party for self-defense. I want to address a couple things. Thing number one,
see a lot of people asking why the Black Panthers are going up against ICE for the immigrants. Well, I want to tell you something. The Black Panther Party is not a black nationalist organization. The new Black Panther Party might be. I'm not sure. The Revolutionary Black Panther Party might be. Any of these variations of Black Panther parties might be. But the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, the one that Huey Newton started with Bobby Seale, is an internationalist organization that
where are the Black Panther Party members overseas? While you're saying it's an internationalist organization, were there Black Panther Party overseas? Where were the Black Panther parties outside of America? The chambers and chapters outside of America, while you're saying it's a whole international thing?
stands as allies with oppressed people, no matter what their ethnic background is, no matter what their cultural background is. So just like my predecessors stood up against the United States of America's imperialist regime with Vietnam to stop the Vietnam War. I don't know if you know your history, you know the Black Panther Party was strictly opposed to the Vietnam War. You know, we had the Rainbow Coalition with all different ethnic groups coming together and fighting against the regime together. That's what we stand for. All power to the people. We're not racist. The very ideology of racism.
Okay. He said, we're not racist. The very ideology of racist. Okay, let me show you something. Nobody in the community is buying this at all. Okay? Quite literally. Quite literally, ain't nobody buying this. Let me show you. Let me get to, first off, let me get to super chats because I don't even think I've addressed any of them so far. Let me get to Dakota Jenkins. He says, this ninja looks like Dominican LB. Okay. He says he looks like a Dominican NLB player. He does. He's not FBA. He's a tether. He is. That's confirmed. You can Google his name. Okay. You can find his background. He's not FBA. All right. So you know. All right. We know good and well he's not a Black Panther. He's not. Okay. I'm getting William O'Neill vibes. Okay. An agent of chaos. Yeah, of course. This COINTELPRO. This easy COINTELPRO. Okay. Water God TV says salute Afro Elite in chat. Big up to the mods. Big up to the mods. Shout out to you. Thank you very much. Okay. First Class Citizen says, oh, mama's little boy. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, it's sad. Okay. Spirit Smooth Tune says Foundation Black American Music, folks, FBA Power. Salute to you. Thank you very much. All right. David says he's either incredibly dumb or a government plan. Either way, FBA stay completely away from him. That's true. And for the most part, that's what's going on. Okay. 100% FBA or Spirit Smooth Moon says 100% FBA. Salute to Afro Elite and to the chat. And after this live with Afro Elite, come to our Smooth Moon. Okay, this advertisement. Smooth Tunes right here on Tube. All right, then. He said after that. No, that's snuck your advertisement in there. All right, then. Eve, thank you very much for your super sticker. All right. And then Cassius says the entire FBA community needs to file a lawsuit against the Black Panther, the Democrat, party. That's and whomever else. This is true. This ethnic fraud by pretending to be FBA to cause physical and political harm. I'm telling you, this is so, I'm quite literally telling you, he is not protecting anybody. This is to get somebody hurt and in very bad condition, killed, really. That's the ultimate goal. Because if you can get a Black kid, especially a kid killed by ICE on camera too, in front of a bunch of people, oh my God, that's going to cause a large protest. And that's going to be their talking point. Because the whole Renee Good thing, that's not really living up to the hype that they've been trying to make it. Is the Renee Good thing, Mustafa, thank you very much. The Renee Good thing, that's not really living up to that. It's really not. Okay? That's really not living up to that. This is fake. He is fake. He is dangerous. I suspect that he is an agent planted and given a jacket and a microphone to talk about I'm a Black Panther Party member. That's sincerely, that's my belief on it. And my belief on that, I would say, okay, you could be dumb and this could be your own personal agenda because you're an immigrant. But the reason I suspect that he isn't is because every single time you have massive outrage and protests and uproars and things of the sort, you're always going to have the government plant people there to be activists and to control where the society goes, to control where the movement goes. Every time. They've done it since the civil rights movement. Every time. All right. My thing is, I can't help but notice how the police aren't doing anything. How I can't also notice this. I can't help but notice how you don't really have a whole bunch of Fox News out there saying, oh my God, they're thugs with guns. Where's you don't really have Republicans and Fox News and stuff like that. You don't really have them out there speaking against these people. You don't have them out there doing that at all. They're very quiet about this. Okay. Now, if they were real, even the Democrats, they would be all like, well, yeah, I mean, I just don't want it to get violent. Maybe you should put the guns down. I just think that there is a peaceful way to protest. Let's protest peacefully now. That's what they be doing. No, when people come up and with this big bad F around and find out, sucker, do you crack a pigs? I'ma blow a hole in your chest. And nobody's saying anything. I'm like, okay, who sent you? Who sent you? Okay, because black folk get rounded up for much less than that. Much less than that. So you going around literally causing problems. Man, I got guns bigger than they guns, man, and I'ma use them. No, somebody sent you, dude. No, this ain't our first rodeo. No, somebody sent you. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you, the community ain't going. The community is not going. I'm pulling some of these videos. Okay, hold on. Pull up some of these videos. Let me let y'all see how the community is not going. Ain't nobody going for this. Oh, come on, play. Okay, come on. Okay, now I don't want to play. You can play the video. Oh, okay, don't want to. Hold on. Let me just refresh the screen. Hold on. Now it's acting like it don't want to play no more. Now you're shy. That's why I download stuff. Okay, doke. Hey, can y'all hit that like button, please? And thank you.
So there's something about a Black Panther that's just a Black Panther. Okay. And there's also something about the children of Black Panthers. Okay.
Okay.
So when you can.
All right, here we go. It didn't want to play at first. It wanted me to just like it, but not play it. Okay.
Black Panthers, Black Panthers, Black Panthers. Lord have mercy. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people takes on the guy that's a Black Panther. They're talking about we need to do something to ICE and all the other stuff because what happened to that white woman. But we ain't falling for it. And you know who this guy remind me of? That dude by the name of Grandmaster Jay. Now, if y'all don't remember Grandmaster Jay,
the whole 9 yards, and then become the backbone for the military for a new black nation.
What is the solution to all of this? And that's the last
The solution is very simple. We file a Declaration of Liberation, declaring every African American descendant of slavery a political prisoner here in the United States that was affected by the Portuguese slave trade. And then after that, the United States has a choice. Either A, carve us a piece of land out here, we'll take Texas and let us do our own thing, or don't stop us when we exodus out of here and go somewhere where they will give us our own land to build our own nation.
What is your name and what is the...
I'm the official Grandmaster Jay. I created the NFAC.
All right, and how long have the organization been in existence?
We don't give that information out. Just how we'll tell you this, we're all ex-military. We're all very disciplined. We're all expert shooters. We don't want to talk no more. We don't want to negotiate. We don't want to sing songs. We don't bring signs to a gunfight. We're an eye for an eye organization. So when they decide to act right, we'll decide to act right. And we do.
He was the guy that had this quote unquote militia called INFAC. INFAC stand for Not Fucking Around Coalition. Now, y'all probably remember around the time Breonna Taylor got unalive, God rest her soul. Shout out to her, man. Shout out to her family. But they came out with a militia time. They were going to do some things to some white folks and some police and stuff like that. When I first saw it, I was like, it don't sound right to me. It just really don't. And during that time, I was around some black organizations that was believing this shit. I'm like, hold on now. Y'all understand COINTELPRO. Y'all read all the books on how the Black Panthers got dismantled. Y'all read all the books about how Malcolm X got infiltrated. And y'all believe this dude got on national TV and talking about he was going to do with the police and nothing ain't happened to him during that time. Then it was so crazy. I remember that the people that were joining the movement to Kentucky, they were having like a big protest out there in Kentucky. So they invited all the niggas around the world that can carry guns legally to come out there and protest with them. Peep game. Some majority of the people that was out there had to fill out an application form. And they had to put the type of gun they have and the serial number on the sheet, on the application. That didn't ring a bell. I'm telling my partner, I'm like, why you gonna put your serial number down for? Why you need all that for? And it's just a protest. Turns out, dude was a Fed. I believe he was a Fed. People say, well, he's in jail. Well, why we haven't heard from him? He ain't send no words of encouragement to the people. Nobody in his family said something that he doing all right. Then, in case in point, that dude named Oso in Orlando that unalived that police officer a couple years. I think his name is Oso or something. He unalived a police officer a couple years ago. Well, when he was on the run, he ran to one of the compounds of INFAC. And somebody told on him, leaked the information, told him where he was. But keep in mind, that dude Grandmaster Jay was a Fed anyway. He was an undercover agent anyway. So he probably already told, he probably ran over here. He over there somewhere. Or he probably contacted somebody that run that compound or that land where they found Oso at that unalived that police officer. Tell you, man. So I'm happy black people ain't falling for this fake Black Panther dude. It was funny when I first saw it, but I had to listen to different takes of people.
Yep. Now, here's another telltale sign. I'm going to show y'all a couple more, right? So just so y'all know, we are not dumb. We've seen this before. This is not new. We already know who this is, what this is. This ain't fooling nobody. And this is how you know, because they try to replicate some of the aggressive energy that the Black Panther Party had, but they don't have the cultural, because it's about culture. They don't have the cultural balance to be able to articulate their stances in the party and express themselves politically in a sophisticated manner, and also be very aggressive and stern in their message. They don't. That's why all of what they're sounds like black exploitation movies. F around and find out, sucker, can you dig? My gun is bigger than yours, and I'ma shoot you in the chest if you mess around with me, you pig cracker sucker. Like, okay, all right, dude. Nobody in 2026, I don't care if you former military, I don't care if you old school, nobody is talking like that, okay? You can follow me on the gram. You can follow me on the gram. We the Black Panther Party for Liberation, okay? And we here to oppress. We are here to not oppress. I'm sorry. We are here to protect all people, all black and brown people, really the brown people, because we need the brown people. Without the brown people, we are nothing, okay? And if you come for the brown people, I will kill you. Like, nobody, first off, nobody is talking like that, okay? I don't care if I had a gun. I know Kung Fu. I know karate. And I will fight you and I will beat you down. Okay? Get out of my face. Okay, you asking for my name? Okay, my name is Mansa Musa Kareem Jabbar. Like, okay, okay, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Okay, like, oh my God, this is how you know. This is how you know. This is why we sitting up there watching on our phones, like, I don't really know about that. I don't really know about that. I don't really know about that. Where y'all been? Okay, y'all know y'all been asking where we have been as far as all of the black people that have been killed and gunned down. But you have to understand, though, we was getting ready for this moment right here. So we gonna protect the immigrants first, and then after them, we gonna get to y'all. All right? We was getting ready. We had our guns and the meetings and stuff, and we had to get our cars ready. If you want to, okay, if y'all want to join the Black Panther Party, y'all can give me your social security number. Just text it to me on your phone. Give me your social security number, and I will email you the card. And you can join the liberation in the fight for justice. Okay. All right. And this is why people are like, no, 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 no. No, no, no. I can't say no enough. No, we're not going. We are not going.
What's going on?
No, thank you. No, thank you. We're fine. We're very, very cool. Actually, quite literally. We do not need that. This is, come on now. We all know, we know better. We all know better than that. Okay. Hold on. Let me show y'all some more, because we are not going. We really not. Oh, you gotta unmute it.
I don't know who the hell these people are in this picture, but this is not the Black Panther Party. This is some sort of alternative COINTELPRO style Captain Save-A-Ho Black immigrant Panther Party, but it's not the Black Panther Party. I'm not even really sure why they're even using that as their name. I don't know where this dude came from. He's talking about how we fight for all oppressed groups. It just seemed like they just kind of popped up out of nowhere and decided to use the Black Panther Party, which I find very, very ironic. I mean, like, given like the delineation and all of that has been discussed over these last several months, I just find that to be very interesting that they decided to pop up out of nowhere with that name, and their plight has absolutely nothing to do with Black people, but yet they're calling themselves the new Black Panther Party. There is a very obvious collective effort to drag Black American people specifically into the fight to help illegal immigrants stay in the country. It's pretty obvious at this point that this is a actual thing. Like, they actually want us to fight on behalf of illegal immigrants, not just of immigrants, illegal immigrants. Like, this almost kind of feels like a PR move that nobody asked for, nobody wanted, on behalf of Black America, to say, no, guys, look, no, we're in support of illegal immigration, guys. Look, with the Black Panther movement, we fight for all oppressed peoples all around the world. Just ignore this whole delineation thing. See, we fight for everybody. Like, well, what the hell is that? What is this about? We didn't ask for no PR. We didn't ask for nobody to come in to step in and play Captain Save-A-Ho and put our name on it. Nobody asked for that. So where the hell did y'all come from? Where did you just dropped out of Never Land? Like, what the hell is going on? I'm really truly confused. I would like to have more information on what the hell is really going on with this.
I'm telling you, you can tell stuff is fake, because a lot of what they're doing, they're trying to put on a show. Look at this. They're trying so hard to seem legitimate. Let me ask y'all, why are we just now seeing this? We're just now seeing all of the military groups and stuff like that, all of the militant, indoctrinations or, initiations and things of the sort. We're just now seeing this. Okay, stand together. Put your hand on your heart and say, I pledge. Like, come on, what is this?
About face. Uso. What are we here for?
For the protection of the black man, woman, and child by any means necessary. Unify, educate, demonstrate, liberate.
Why?
Community responsibility.
About face. Uso. What are you here for?
For the protection of the black man, woman, and child by any means necessary. Unify, educate, demonstrate, liberate. Community responsibility.
About face. Uso. Line up.
Notice all of the men are covering their foreheads. I look. No, just notice all of the guys are covering their foreheads up. Besides the one dude who's bald and the other dude with a crazy big forehead. These are just details I can't help but notice. Okay, but look at this. Do y'all think that we still do this? That there's still organizations out there like, line up. What is your name? My name is Mansa Musa. Line up, sir. What is your name? My name is Kunta Kinte. Line up. What is your name? My name is Karam. Like, okay, brother. All right. Okay. Brother, no. Stop. Just stop. Please don't do that no more. Stop that. And here's the thing. Y'all thinking that, because this is how you know this is government orchestrated, because this is how the government sees the Black Panther Party. Okay? This is how the government sees them. Okay? So they're putting on an act. I swear it's a white lady who wrote the script to all of this. This is so, it's so flavorless. It's so plain. You can tell it was a Caucasian woman who wrote this. Okay? And her name was probably Karen too. She's like, okay, this sounds really tough. Because they are tough now. It sounds really tough. Oh my God. Oh, you're really scaring them? That's what it sounds like. And then she gave it to him. Because they not FBA, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know. So yeah, they said, look at that. Okay. And they're doing all of this on behalf of illegal immigration. On behalf of a white woman who was shot protecting illegal immigrants. I would give credit if this was for George Floyd. I would give credit if I saw this for Trayvon Martin. I would give credit if I saw this for Breonna Taylor. If I saw this for Ahmaud Arbery. I would give credit if I saw this for anybody else, Sonia Massey, anybody else. I would let it slide. I would say, okay, it's a little extra. I would say it's a little extra. Okay. It's a little extra. That's my thing. I would let it slide if it was for them. But for a white woman shot by ICE, yeah, Tamir Rice, all of them, Mike Brown, all of them. I would if it was for them, okay. But this is for Javier Lopez. Okay. They're doing all of this for Javier Lopez. And this is how Javier Lopez treats Black people.
You working. No more money for you. Bye-bye. Go back. No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy.
Mm-hmm.
You lazy.
Yeah, and this is what we're supposed to be fighting for. This is what we're supposed to be fighting for. These are the people we're supposed to be fighting for, okay? Just so you know, let's just do a refresher on the type of people the Black Panther Party for self-defense is telling us we need to arm ourselves and fight the American United States government, the federal government, for these people.
In North Carolina, they'll pass preparations for whoever's over there. I'm sure they'll try to do something out here in California. I think they already actually got a little board going that they're going to start looking into it. So
yeah, and that's where we, the Raza, need to step up, protest, and I'm talking major, and turn around and tell them, no, Nobody getting reparations until the Native Americans and the Mexicans get ours first. We've been going through this crap a lot longer, so I don't want to hear it. Because it's not fair, dog. How are you going to give a bunch of money to a specific group, dog? This is the United States, a melting pot. How are you going to give it to a specific group?
Because right now they've got the white people with so much guilt. It was your
Uh-huh. This is who ICE is supposed to be fighting. This is who we're supposed to be fighting against. Now, can I ask one last question? This is going to be my last question. My final question. Where were these Black Panther Party members when this happened?
Year-old Trinity Washington prepares for a second surgery this week.
My eye is doing so much pain. My eye and my nose.
Sunday night, the girl had emergency surgery on her eye. She and her mother say the injuries happened after neighbors hosting a Mexican Independence Day celebration used a racial slur against the African-American family.
That word shouldn't be used towards us. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be used towards anybody. Nobody should use that word because that's a bad word.
A few minutes later, two women allegedly attacked the girl when she didn't move her 3-month-old Yorkie out of their way. The 6th grade honor student and cheer captain named her puppy Barbie. Washington and her mom say Barbie was stepped on by one of the women but survived. Then they say the aggressors targeted Washington.
I looked up. A bottle came towards my face, being thrown to my face. I dropped down because I felt something hard. She punched me in my nose. When she punched me in my nose, I almost blacked out because I fell again.
I want justice. I want them to see her.
Washington's mother preferred for her face not to be shown on TV.
Everyone have been so supportive with just sharing the love, letting her know that she is beautiful. I'm just heartbroken that this happened to her.
For the girl who hopes to someday be a pediatrician, she says this is not only painful, but confusing.
I didn't do anything. I was just trying to put my dog in a house.
The police report the family shared with ABC7 classified this case as an aggravated battery of a child. Today, Chicago police tell us no one is in custody and the case is being investigated as Washington prepares for surgery tomorrow, hoping it will lessen her pain. 11-year-old Trinity Washington prepared.
Where are these Black Panther Party members? I'm like very serious. Where were they then? Now, thank God she survived, but you don't need to have somebody doesn't need to die for you to show up, right? These immigrants that are being deported, they're not dying. It's not like they're out here being all like, if you're not a citizen, then that's just off with your head. That's not what's going on. They're not dying. Okay. There's incidents where unfortunately death does happen, but the mission statement, their MO is not to kill them. All right. But yet you have the Black Panther the Black Panthers out there anyway. So you're out there to quote unquote help all oppressed groups of people. Where were you when we needed you? Where was all of this? Where was all of this militant action of we got to protect the people by any means necessary with your guns and all of that? When we were being terrorized by the people that you are currently now protecting. All of this stuff happened by the people, by the community that these Black Panther Party members are currently telling us we need to get out there and protect. Do you understand that? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. This is not our fight. These are not our allies. And more importantly, their presence is not helpful to the community. Most importantly, their presence is a negative. It is a net negative. There is no positives to them being invaded in our community, to them invading in our community. None. No, and we've had that argument all last year. Nobody brought up a single case They were not able to argue a single case to say, actually, them being in your community, specifically on the south side of Chicago, all up in New York, all up in California, that's a good thing for black people. Nobody's made the case that it's a good thing for black people, but people can go all day long talking about how it's bad for black people. You understand? And the Black Panther Party is going to come out there and talk about how they're going to talk about protecting against oppressed people. No, get out of here. Get out of here. That is so easy to spot as COINTELPRO. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. It's too easy. It's too easy to spot that as COINTELPRO. Okay. Let me get to the super chats. Okay. Let me get to First Class Citizen. He says, let's not forget Mr. Sharpton co-signed. Yeah, that's true. Mr. Sharpton co-signed this. Pink Panther dudes message. Yeah, the Pink Panther dudes. Yeah, he needs to be called out and put on blast for supporting such rhetoric. He does. Because even the real Black Panthers who were really out there doing real stuff for the community, okay, notice he's saying that there's free food and there's free this and there's free that. Where have y'all been? The government was shut down last year, and there was a threat that food stamps were going to be shut off. I didn't see the Black Panther Party offer anybody no free groceries then, where there were government workers who weren't getting their paychecks and who were going, the whole shutdown was like 2 months. They were going 2 months without a paycheck. I didn't see y'all offering to help out buy clothes or help out with groceries. Or where were the Black Panthers then? Because even if you want to talk about the nonviolent aspect of the Black Panther Party, the one, like, for instance, when Fred Hampton had the free breakfast program where kids were coming there and learning and getting food and they were helping the community out. Notice that when the community is going through a crisis, when we need a little bit of help, even the threat of us not getting food, they didn't open up anything. They didn't have no potluck event or anything like that, any donation, any I forgot exactly what the term is called. Where you can donate canned goods and stuff like that. I forgot what the term is called. They didn't have that. They didn't have that. They popped up all of a sudden now because this is their plan to get Foundation Black Americans involved in this ICE nonsense. And we're not going. We're just not going. Okay, Mustafa says there's a video of him pretending to be a blood. That's interesting. A food drive. Thank you. A food drive. A food drive. That's what it's called. A food drive. Yeah. They didn't organize any food drives. They didn't do that. Where were they then? There was no clothes, no kids' toys, no food drive, no nothing. These people just popped out of thin air. Thin air. Now, some people are saying, okay, I've known this guy for a minute or whatever the case is. He has a couple of videos spanning from years. How long have you been a Black? Now, he's saying that he's not a part of a segment or a variation of the Black Panther Party. He's a part of the real Black Panther Party, which actually was debunked, and we're going to debunk that in just a second. Okay. David says, FBA, get them likes up. Yeah, let's get these likes up, y'all. Let's get these likes up. It says Afro Lee be going hard for the lineage. FBA stay winning. That's true. We do stay winning. FBA all day. Appreciate you, my brother. Let's get these likes up. He says, exactly, Afro. Where the hell have they been all this time? COINTELPRO got to do better. Okay, that's the best they got. Honestly, y'all so out of touch. COINTELPRO is so out of touch. Y'all think this is the 1960s still. COINTELPRO is so out of touch that they think that this is back in their heyday. COINTELPRO's heyday is in the 60s. And then kind of in the 60s, kind of in the 70s. No, the COINTELPRO, man, COINTELPRO, this is not the 60s no more. David again says, most Latinos never liked us. Racism is embedded in Latino culture. Look it up. We just never studied their history because we were busy. Yeah, that's true. We just didn't know. A lot of the times, the Black Panther Party members, Fred Hampton, Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, when they were allowing all of these people who would turn out to be agents in the Black Panther and the Black Panther Party, they had a very optimistic view of all non-white people. They were even letting white people in the Black Panther Party. So at a certain point in time, the Black Panther Party, it was just kind of just letting anybody up in there. Like at a certain point, as long as you weren't a cop, they were just letting you up in there. And that was a bad mistake. It was a mistake. They were too optimistic and too trusting. That was a bad mistake. Okay. Then he continues to say, but they've been hating too. We have no friends. We don't. Yeah. And Sove says, this ain't it. It's not it. The black exploitation lingo definitely is a giveaway. Jive turkey sucker. Like that is a give, brother. That's such a giveaway. What we need is the guns, and we need the guns to shoot the pig cracker suckers. You drive turkey sucker cracker pig. Okay, sir. All right, brother. All right. Come on. What are we doing? Let me show you this video though. Apparently, we got a video from the real Black Panthers. Hold on, how do I make it bigger? I'm trying to make this bigger for y'all so y'all can see it. Oh, there it is. That's the button. Okay, here we go. Okay. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna play a bigger version because I want you guys to see it better. I don't like to play the small things where y'all gotta squint at the camera. I don't like y'all to do that. For y'all to have to do that. So let me show you guys a version where you guys can see it a little bit more up close. Okay, here we go.
National leader of the original Black Panther Party. General Mike Payne, national leader of the original Black Panther Party here. We have received many emails from people asking what is our official stance on the ICE situation. I need you all to listen and understand what I'm telling you. We, the original Black Panther Party, in good conscience cannot risk life and limb of our people for groups of people who have not risked life and limb for us. Just because we have a common enemy, that does not equate to us having a common problem. If this was so, now listen to me. If we had a common problem and enemy, where were the immigrants or even the Black immigrants as a whole when Breonna Taylor, Tyree Nichols, Trayvon Martin, Rollin Hill, Ahmaud Arbery, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, where were you at when our people are murdered in the streets, slaughtered in cold blood by an agency that now hunts you? But now that injustice has touched your door, we have something in common. The Black agenda must come first. We are still working on in-house unification. We cannot afford to divide our ranks to help individuals who have not been reciprocatory. Black citizens, we are not the target. Sure, like anything else, a few Black citizens get stopped, hassled, and ID'd. That's been happening to us for 400 plus years. The difference now is we aren't who they're looking for. We don't mean this in a harsh way to any community that migrated here and are targets of ICE. But legal or illegally, this has been our experience. Welcome to America. General Mike Payne, national leader of the original.
And that's how you know somebody is real. No, we are not going to put our safety on the line and do what these crazy white folk is doing, letting strangers barge up in your house with your children and put them at risk. Okay, put yourself at risk. Okay, take chances getting a federal charge. Take chances potentially getting shot. We are not going to do that. No person who means you the best would tell you to do that. Not even tell you to do that. Tell you to do that on behalf of someone you know. These Black Panther Party members already know. Everybody already knows. You are not going to get these Hispanics who will tell you, who will openly tell you, I'm going to protest you getting reparations. If they talk about you getting reparations, I'ma be a block. I'ma block that. Them telling us, I mean, we can talk all day long about the anti-Black racism in the Hispanic community, the hatred that they have for Black people. We can talk all day long about that. Okay. You know for a fact they wouldn't risk breaking a nail to save you at all, period. If the police were grabbing you, they would come and grab your leg. Like, I got them. That's what they would do. And you know it, because that's what happened last time. And yet you mean to tell me we should sacrifice ourselves? No, this is a manipulation tactic, okay? Because the DNC wants Black people to get out there, and they want this massive protest energy and this rioting energy the same way they had with George Floyd. They want that. All right. But here's the thing. The George Floyd thing, George Floyd was a catalyst. Okay. George Floyd, as horrific and traumatizing as that video was, he was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because remember what happened right before George Floyd, we found out about Breonna Taylor. Right? Like literally, it was like a month, if less. Like a month span, we were still protesting. There were still protests and investigations going on about Breonna Taylor when we found out about George Floyd. And then, even before that, we found out about Ahmaud Arbery. And that was all in 1 year, 2020, when we found out about these things. And on top of that, we still have all of what happened with George Floyd was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was a major thing. First off, the whole George Floyd thing could have been enough alone, but you had George Floyd, and then right before it was Breonna Taylor, right before it was Ahmaud Arbery, and then before that, then you had Mike Brown, then you had Eric Gardner, then you had Trayvon Martin, you had Tamir Rice, you had Sandra Bland, you had Tatiana Jefferson, you had all of these things that was just like nothing can be done, and then bam, something happened. Okay. And the Democratic Party capitalized off of that. They used that. Remember, Biden was talking about, I'm going to do something with the police. He got in there and said, hey, man, the police need more money. Leave them alone. The second Joe Biden got in office, he turned around and said, Blue Lives Matter, niggas. That's what Joe Biden said to Black folk. All right. And all of the party, they was cool with it. Okay. It was all cool. Okay. When we've been saying, as the brother said, we've been dealing with this because police were designed originally to be slave catchers. So this ain't new to us. This is something we've gone through every single year, all of the time, and nothing gets done about it. Okay. Notice how even with this protest, with the whole immigration thing, there's an attention given to this. And there's not as much scrutiny and pushback given to this because these are not Black people. These are not Black people. Okay. That's why people can make these sacrifices that they wouldn't make if they were Black. These are not Black people. They know that. And this is my thing, that we've been dealing with this, and everybody else has been telling us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Everybody else has been telling us we just need to comply. Well, if you weren't running away, he wouldn't have had to shoot you in the back. You shouldn't have been resisting. That's your fault. That's your problem. Well, if there wasn't so much crime, remember they were saying that if it wasn't so much crime in the Black community, then the cops wouldn't even be there. Okay. If you weren't doing anything wrong, that's what they was telling us. They've been telling us that ever since I can remember. They've been telling Black people, well, I mean, that's the law. Okay. So now we just go, all right, fine. You getting deported? That's the law. That's the law. What do you no. That's the law. You tell us we gotta comply. That's the law. Okay, well, that's the law. You shouldn't be here without you shouldn't be here without a green card, without no citizenship. You know better. Okay. The problem is the culture that allows you to feel entitled. I don't know where your father is. Okay. It's probably all of these single mother anchor baby birthers. I don't know. But rules are rules, and that's the law. And that's all we saying. Hey, rules are rules, and that's the law. Don't get us to, no, ain't no exception. They're fighting for an exception, and we not doing that. No. Not only, first off, I literally, from a legal perspective, don't agree. From a moral perspective, don't agree. And even if I did say, damn, that's wrong, I'm not going to sit up there and have my people fight for them. No. No. In an army, if you are a general and you command a massive army and you're responsible for protecting whatever nation, okay, if your ally is being attacked, you would send troops to go and defend your ally and defend your ally's country, right? You do that for allies. For allies. Key word. You don't just do that for any and everybody. Anybody who gets attacked, you sending troops over there. You don't do that. No. You do that for allies. Now, let me ask you this question. Are these people our allies? Are these people your allies? No, they are not. And any smart general who's responsible for the protection of his army, any smart general who's responsible for protecting his nation is not going to waste troops to just protect the world. No, we are not the protectors of the globe, okay? This isn't guardians of the, the planet Earth. This isn't what we are, all right? I will protect allies. Are you an ally? Nope. Oh, well. They're not allies. And here's the thing. They're not allies because we say they're not allies. They're allies because they have made it abundantly clear that they are not allies. It's not because, well, we just don't know. It's not because of us. They have made it abundantly painfully clear that they have no interest in any allyship at all, period. Okay? They are here for opportunities, and they will step on whomever they need to do that. They've made it abundantly clear they're not interested in no allyship. Cool. Fine. Not gonna beg you. Stay over there then. Stay over there. Okay? But it don't work that way. You don't get ally benefits and not be an ally. Don't work that way. We don't expect that. You shouldn't expect that either. Don't work that way. No. All right. Let me get to a couple more of these super chats. I'm telling you. Yeah, and you're trying to get black people. And what is the message anyway? Even if they were allies. Keep them here illegally? No. Hold on. No. What the hell? No. Okay. RB says the black Democrats are behind this. How much you want to bet? The woman in Texas, Harris, Obama, etc., is behind this. Trump and Republicans don't need us. Yeah, the Democrats are behind this, man. This clearly got DNC written all over it. If you can't see, I don't know. Everybody can see it. It's clear as day. It's clear as day. David said, "Hey, that's the law. That's the law. Just comply. That's the law." Now remember, they tell us, well, it's not a perfect system. It's not a perfect system. but it's the only one we got. It's the only one we got. Okay. All right, cool. Well, now when it's your turn, I'm going to say, well, it's not a perfect system, but it's the only one we got. And it's the law. And you should have just complied. That's all I got for you. That's all I got. They not getting us involved, and they damn sure not going to use Black Panthers. They're not going to use the Black Panthers to get us involved in this. Okay? Let me tell you, there's a movement going on for reparations. There's a movement. We've got movements for reparations. We've had reparations rallies and all that stuff. There's reparations going on, different task force and things like that in different states. Where have they been? Where have they been? You would think that the Black Panther Party, they would be super involved with the reparations movement. They've not been here. Where's the involvement they had? Okay. Think about that for 1 second. Okay. Think about that for 1 second. Now remember, that's one of the last things Dr. King was talking about. To circle this back, today is Dr. King Day. So today we should be talking about what Dr. King would have wanted. And Dr. King wanted reparations. That's what Dr. King said. Those were one of the last things he said, period. I'm going to pull the clip up for you. Okay? Hold on. That's not. There it is. There it is.
Same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest.
All right. Every time I play this clip, I get a copyright strike every single time. And I don't want the channel or the video like banned or anything like that. So I'm going to just show you play the audio so you can hear it. But I'm just going to put an image of Dr. King on the screen. All right. So you can still hear it, but I can't play the video because they don't do it to other channels, but they do it to mine. So it is what it is.
Which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Round of applause for our beloved ancestor, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. His birthday was actually on the 15th, but today is Dr. King Day, legally speaking. Okay. The actual holiday for that, which a lot of people feel some type of way about that. Like there should be other holidays. There should, and there are. I want us to understand too, because people bring up, well, why isn't it a Malcolm X holiday? Why isn't it a Fred Hampton holiday? There are. It's just not federally recognized. There was a fight for Dr. King to be federally recognized, but holidays are what we make it. Okay. Remember, Juneteenth was a holiday before Juneteenth was a federal holiday. I don't care if Dr. King next year stopped being a federal holiday, the culture is still going to celebrate Dr. King Day. And it doesn't matter. Okay, but because the holiday is more than just what the federal government allows it to be. It's about us and it's about our culture. And we remember, especially in the month of June, where we have so many of our icons that we have to remember. We remember this and we remember what Dr. King was saying. Now, to be honest, I want to ask you this question. Do you think Dr. King would have wanted millions and millions of illegal immigrants coming in here, siphoning resources from the Black community, resources that we're being denied? I don't think he would. I don't think Dr. King would approve of this. Okay? He wouldn't approve of them coming over here, diluting our voting power. He wouldn't have approved of that. Dr. King wanted us to have significant voting power and influence in politics, and they're coming to be our replacement. This is not what Dr. King would have wanted. He would not have wanted this. All right. The real Black Panthers wouldn't have wanted this. They would have recognized this for the government play that it is. They would have seen through this. And the government knew that these people, unlike Paul, this guy, unlike this guy, hold on. Unlike him,
Y'all don't know what you talking about.
They know, okay, well, Dr. King can't be bought up. We can't stop Dr. King. We can't get Dr. King. There's certain people that they knew they could never get. There are certain people that they knew was always going to be a problem. They said, okay, well, Malcolm X, we're just going to have to kill him. Dr. King, yeah, we're going to have to kill him. That's what they said. They say, yeah, that Dr. King guy, he's growing to be too much of a problem. Okay. I want you to understand the people they allow to be around and allowed to cause all this ruckus and stuff like that. Dr. King was not allowed to do that. He was not permitted and helped by the government to do anything he did. The government tried to stop any and every single thing Dr. King tried to get accomplished. Everything. So when I think on Dr. King Day, and I think about how the government used COINTELPRO to stop him, it makes it very hard for me to believe that the same government who executed Dr. King isn't messing with you at all. And you are way more radical, okay, than Dr. King was. You're claiming to be way more radical and aggressive and violent than he was. Dr. King preached against violence, okay? He didn't want us to go out there. He didn't promote violence, I would say. A lot of people make it seem like Dr. King was some pacifist who said we should never fight back. That's actually not the truth. It's actually not the truth. People keep making it seem as if Dr. King was this turn the other cheek pacifist who never wanted to ball his fist up under any circumstance. That's not the truth. Now, he was careful enough to realize that he shouldn't promote aggression and violence and incite an incident. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to do it the other way. He thought there was a better way. Okay, a less harmful and violent way to go about it. Okay, but Dr. King was not let's turn the other cheek and let's not fight nobody under any circumstance. He was never that. All right, but even though he preached to do things civilly, they still killed him. And you mean to tell me these people walking around here literally threatening and trying to instigate a violent situation with federal law enforcement, nothing's happening? This is COINTELPRO, y'all. This is so COINTELPRO. This is so COINTELPRO. I don't even know what to tell you. This is so COINTELPRO. This is crazy. Okay, David, he says, cut the check, cut our check, cut our check. Now, just like Grandmaster Jay, what I predict, because this guy, he's not going to be able to fulfill his assignment, he's going to just disappear. they're going to say Paul was arrested and he's held in federal prison for some crime. And nobody has going to hear anything about him the same way with Grandmaster Flash or Jay, Grandmaster Jay. Let's see, Grandmaster Flash. The same way. He's just going to disappear. Okay? Because they're not going to let him get outed. So when they realize he can't do his job, poof, he's gone. Oh, no, he just went to jail. Nobody's seen him. He's going to go somewhere. He's going to change his name, and that's going to be it. We're not even going to have to deal with this clown for that long. I can guarantee you that the same way we didn't have to deal with that clown before Grandmaster Jay, we didn't have to deal with him before for that long. We don't have to deal with this guy for that long. I'm guaranteeing you that. I'm guaranteeing you that. Okay, because what he's doing is not effective. So the government that's paying him is going to realize, okay, yeah, we're going to stop that. We're going to this Black Panther thing. Okay, damn it, Karen. You said the Black Panthers would get them out there, Karen, and they're not. That's what they're going to do. It's going to be some dude named Jeff or something like that in the office being all like, well, it was Karen's idea to get the Black Panthers out there. They're all going to be sitting up there at a table looking at the stats. They're going to be like, I don't see those massive protests that you promised me. All right. And it was like, hold on now. It was Karen's idea to get the Black Panther Party out there. And Karen said they were going to come. And then she's going to be like, I did. I thought they were coming. No. It's going to be a table all full of white people. No black people. No black people. And they're going to be surprised because they don't know. We're not coming. We're not coming. We're not falling for this. They're throwing good money after bad, paying them. They need to return those hats and those jackets and all of that stuff, the beret, all of that stuff. Give Party City their stuff back. Give Party City their stuff back. Okay? I know we got a long time before Halloween. Give Party City their stuff back. Just give it back. Just give it back. You just give it back. Just give it back. Okay? Doe says, new here, interesting perspective. Okay, well, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Okay. She says, as I have seen this clip circulating, blessings. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you for joining. I appreciate your super chat. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Okay, and join us. Okay. David says again, J. Edgar Hoover, the first director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, said the main goal of the FBI's counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO, was to prevent the rise of a Black Messiah. And they want that. Okay? And a way to prevent the rise is to place somebody there that is under your control. The way to prevent a real revolution is to start a fake one before. When you see the elements of a revolution building up, get ahead of it with an artificial one. When you see the community galvanizing and you know that there might be a leader that might come out, and I'm not saying that there is a leader because the code is the leader, but you're seeing that there might be an influential person, what they deemed as the Black Messiah coming out. Plant a fake one. And then that way you can control where the movement goes. That's the same thing they did with Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter actually started grassroots because it wasn't Black Lives Matter. It was just people out there protesting against police violence. All right. And they saw the elements of an uprising and they said, you know what? We can get ahead of that by making an organization, BLM, the organization, and we'll have the leaders of BLM. And that way, since we're ahead of it, we can steer where the revolution goes, where the movement goes. We can steer that. So Black Lives Matter turned into, well, you can't talk about Black Lives Matter without talking about Black trans lives matter too. It was like, huh? When did we start talking about that? And then they start in endorsing candidates and stuff like that and all of that stuff. They steered the movement off of its original path. That's the way to get ahead. If you can't snuff it out, snuff a movement out, just control it, get ahead of it. And this is what they're trying to do right here. All right. Unfortunately, it's not going to work. I mean, yeah, trying to do that. It's a tactic trying to get us involved. You can't do that. And they're trying to use the Black Panthers because they know culturally the Black Panther Party is significant. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You can't steer this movement. Okay. You can't do that, because if this was to work, then it was to say, man, all of this delineation and stuff like that. No. They tried to do that with delineation and reparations. They've been trying to do that then. And it's not going to work, because as long as the code is the leader, and as long as Black empowerment is the drive of what we do, there's nothing that they can corrupt. You can't corrupt that. If we say Black empowerment, the empowerment of Black people is the drive of what we do, they can't corrupt it. It's uncorruptible. It doesn't matter how many fake people you put. The test of time is going to prove that they're fake, and we're going to move on. We can't be stopped, y'all. We just can't. We can't be stopped. Family, I appreciate y'all being here with us. This concludes tonight. Thank you guys very much on this Dr. King Day. Shout out to every single last one of y'all in the chat room. Once again, much respect. Let's give another round of applause before we leave to our ancestor, Dr. King. Y'all, please make sure that y'all subscribe if y'all like this, and y'all double check on the notifications and all of that stuff. Please do that. All right. I appreciate y'all for watching. As always, Black First. I'll see you guys later. Thank you all. Y'all stay blessed.